Now we're jumping continents. We're jumping over to Africa, and we're joined by Benoit la Salle. He's the president and CEO over at Aya Gold and Silver. The company's already a producer. They have a market cap of $1.2 billion, but they keep making discoveries, massive discoveries. One of their holes is 21.6 meters of 3,900 and something grams, like 4 kilos of silver over 21 meters. I haven't even seen that coming out of Mexico. So absolutely astonishing. And to Benoit, I'm really pleased to have you welcome on or join us on stage and present the story to us. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everybody. Willem, thank you for inviting us, Willem and company, and thank you for making us part of your family. Aya is an amazing story. It's only 3 years old. We started 3 years ago, yesterday, April 24th, 2020, beginning of COVID. We were all home. We had retired. In 1995, I went to Africa on a pro bono trip to help kids and children. And as I'm for the official picture with the president of Burkina Faso, he says, would you come back and help us develop the mining sector? We don't have mines in Burkina Faso. So I said, Mr. President, I'll see what I can do. I'm a tax specialist. I'm an accountant. I have my own practice. I don't know mining. And he says, could you come back? And I said, I will. And I created a company called West Africa Mining Corporation, in French, Société d'Exploration Minière Afrique de l'Ouest, SEMAFO. Created that myself, hired a GO, and in 20 years, we took it to 3.5 billion market cap, 3,000 employees, the SEMAFO Foundation with 1 million people living off the charity. And we sold the company in 2018 to Endeavour Gold, and everybody went home happy until I got a call one day, and they said, would you take over this company, which is in bankruptcy, called Aya. At the time, it was called Maya. And I said, yeah, everybody is around. I've got hundreds of guys willing to work. And we took over this company, and it's been TSX 30 for the past 3 years, the best performer. So I'm glad we're in your fund because we have, had quite a ride. The looking forward statement, you're familiar. So we are Morocco focused. We are silver, pure silver, and you do want to be in silver right now. Silver today is the breaking out day. People were waiting for COMEX, for London today, where the contracts are closing. And as of today, technically, it should start to move up. So we're Morocco focused, silver focused, fantastic growth profile. You have a company that is green. We're the leaders in climate change, and we did receive a $100 million fund from the EBRD Bank because we are a leader in climate change, and we're very strong management and strong board, and I'll come to that. So the management team that you have here is SEMAFO. David made all the discoveries. We talked about geologists. He made all the discoveries at Bema Gold that became Kinross in Russia. Then he came with us at SEMAFO, and he made all the Burkina Faso. We discovered the Houndé Belt, where you have now 10 mines on the Houndé Belt. David did that with me. Mustafa ran OCP, the largest phosphate producer in the world, in Morocco. 11 billion a year in revenue, 5 billion a year in profit. He joined us when we took over Aya. Hugo, Elias, they're all part of the SEMAFO family. Everybody cashed out. We got taken out by Endeavour. And now everybody came back in 2020. And we took this company from 100 employees to today 800. 40 GOs working under David, and it's probably now 45. Because every week he's hiring. And we're growing this company into the next multi-billion-dollar company. What's interesting is at the board level, the board owns 52% of the company. So that's very rare in mining. We own 52% of this $1.2 billion company and going up. So, Roberto, biotech billionaire, Marc Nollet, industrial billionaire, Nicolas Sofronis, fund manager. So you have a team. And funny enough, Willem, Natasha, who was with me at SEMAFO, is now the CFO of Battery Material, your famous investment where you went from $1 to $14. Natasha was with us at SEMAFO, did very well, went to Champion Iron Ore, took it from 300 million to 4 billion, and was poached to go to Battery Material. So she's on the board with us. and my business partner and myself, and we are building this new project at 3,000 meters above sea level. This is the mine. It's in production. We're producing this year 2 million ounces of this beautiful product called an ounce of silver. So we're producing 2 million ounces this year, and this time next year, we'll be producing 8 million ounces a year of silver at an all-in cash, all-in AISC of $9.50. So this is how it was put together. The key element, if you come out of here, is jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is the most important element of investment right now because Panama's gone crazy, Madagascar's gone crazy, Zimbabwe's gone crazy, Quebec's almost there yet, but going very quickly at going crazy, and it's wrong. I mean, if you're investing and you're in Panama and you're in Cobre Panama, and all of a sudden the government says time out, we want a new deal, it's complicated. So jurisdiction is everything for us. Morocco is ranked, whoops, sorry, I just went too fast. Morocco is ranked number 2 in the world now by the Fraser Institute, and shortly it'll be ranked number 1. Best jurisdiction in the world for mining. Permitting takes 2-3 months. Once you have your permit for mining, you're set for life. And exploration permits are renewed every 4 years. It's extremely simple. It's 3% royalty, 25% tax rate. And why you want to be with us? If I told you it's 1900, you want to come with us? We're going to explore the Carlin Trend in Nevada. It's 1900. You want to come? Of course you want to come. We found 300 million ounces. In Morocco, the belt was shut down in 1914 by the king. He said nobody can do exploration in Morocco except the government, because we have phosphate. We have the largest phosphate reserves in the world, and we don't want to give it up to anyone. So no exploration in country except for the government. And they've only reopened up in 2010 when this company was created, and this is why it's such an interesting thing. So this belt, the Carlin Trend, 60 miles long, 100 kilometers. The Cadillac break in Quebec, Timmins, 200, maybe 300. This fault, 1,600 kilometer long, 65% of it has never been walked. The discoveries that were made there were made by the Romans 2,000 years ago. So when we arrived, it's like it's discovered. It's there. It's the highest grade silver in the world. It's pure silver. Our mine is pure silver. No lead, no zinc, no copper, no arsenic. Pure silver. So that belt is going to be known in the next 10 years as one of the top belts in the world. If I ask all of you, what is the best silver mine in the world? You'll say, oh, it's in Mexico. Oh, it's in Peru. It's in Chile. It's in Russia. This mine here, owned by the state, has got 400 million ounces of pure silver. It produces 5 million ounces a year of pure silver, and it's been producing for 50 years. And it still has 20-year mine life. So and that's that belt. That's the belt in Morocco, and it's not bad because you can surf here all year around. You can ski here. Ouarzazate is the Hollywood of filming, and the food is not bad either. So you know what? From Burkina Faso or Mali, where we were, Niger or anywhere in Africa, it's actually pretty good for a last gig. So it's actually quite impressive. So we are a pure silver play. We're a pure silver company. Now, interesting, we only have 116 million shares. That's it. There's no more money to be raised. We have 112 in the bank. We have a $100 million facility that we haven't utilized, which is an ESG loan, 7%, 6 years from the European Development Bank. And as I mentioned to you, we have 52% of that at the board, between the board members and management. We have 52% of it. So it's today actually it's 1.2 billion market cap, but it's only the beginning of where we're going. So when we took over, it was bankrupt. It was a broken company. They were producing a little bit. It was the beginning of COVID, and we started fixing the plants, fixing the mining, the underground mine, the 2 plants that we have. And now last quarter, we produced 680,000 ounces last quarter. We were cash flow positive and profitable last year. We're cash flow positive and profitable this year. And next year, at 8 million ounces a year, we're generating at $25 silver, less $10 all costs, 15 EBITDA per ounce, times 8 million, 120 million a year. With that, we maximize exploration. Because the value creation here, there's one rule in mining. And, you know, I'm not from this. I'm an accountant. But I've understood there's one rule. It's ounces per share. Because there's a lot of M&A where they grow ounces, but they quadruple the shares. Ounces per share is the only metric that counts. The only metrics. And here we came in, we had 10 million. One campaign, 44 million ounces of silver. One campaign, 96 million ounces of silver. This year, we're going to come out at about 400 million ounces. Always the same share count. Except we did a small financing recently. We went out for 70 million because we're building a mine. The management, the board wanted to put 20, but we only put 5 because the demand for our 70 million financing was $300 million of demand. And so it really was an oversubscribed deal. So we cut the board, we cut everybody down to 70, and then we upsized it to 90 million. But that metrics is the only thing that counts. How many shares? How many ounces per shares? Growing over time. Best hits of the industry. 21 meter at 4,000, 14 at 4, 9 at 5. If you look at the top intercepts, it's either us or Abra that we'll talk about right after us. These are the best intercepts. In December, we were mining 3,000 grams per ton all the month. We stopped the plant halfway through. We were through our guidance. Our cost was so low. We stopped the plant. We did all the maintenance that we're going to do in 2023. We did it in 2022 because we're mining 3,000 grams per ton the whole month. So it's a very high-grade system that we have. And it's not a vein. It's a sponge. So it's quite predictable. So this is our own block model. It's got like from 8 meters at 1,500 to 4,000 grams over 21 meters, and it's on and on and on every day. We currently have 11 drills turning. We're drilling 68,000 meters in the first 6 months. We're probably going to drill another 60,000 in the next 6 months. We'll finish the year close to 90 or 100,000 meters of drilling, and we'll go from 11 drills to 14 drills this summer, and then we're just going to accelerate that. Because I think we're going from 100 million to 400 million to maybe 1 billion ounces in 2 years. And that is just in drilling. And that's how you create value. So as I said, we're at like 96 million right now at 300 grams per ton silver, not silver equivalent, silver. And we have 6 million in inferred. We really have very little inferred. So what we did is we said, well, since we have so much, let's build a new plant. We already have 2 plants. Let's build a 3rd plant. So we're building it right now. It's a CapEx of 139. It's about 40% built, 95% committed. We're on time and on budget. It's going to be up and running this time next year, which will take our production from 2 million to 8 million ounces. The beauty of Morocco is like you're on Mars. There's not one tree. There's not one scorpion, not one snake, not one mosquito. There's nothing. There's geology. That's it. I mean, I've worked in Africa where, you know, you cross over snakes every morning, and this has got nothing. Nothing. Geology. You walk on it, and you track it for kilometers and kilometers and kilometers. It's really, really a beautiful place to work. This is our new plant. Go on our website. We have videos every month with drones filming the construction, the equipment arriving, the team growing. It's very, very interesting. So this is the construction right now. And we're using the topography for the plant to be efficient. So a similar plant in Canada would cost 300 million, 350. In Morocco, 140. And again, in mining, people get killed on CapEx. I'm sure you were stuck in Nemaska, I hope not, but in Nemaska or IAMGOLD or stories where the CapEx went from this to there, and then you have no more return on your assets or no more NAV. Here, the CapEx is 140. We're using the topography, and this is being built as we speak, and that will be producing 8 million ounces at this time next year. So the beauty of a project too, and we talked about that, to me there's 3 elements that counts in mining. 3 elements: jurisdiction, grade, and the management team. Grade is so important, and you have fantastic grade. I saw that. I have to applaud your grade in Alaska. It's really amazing to have grades like that, because look at grade. $16 silver, 21% IRR. Some people are showing us IRR at top values, and they have 15. And they say we're going into production. Never it's going to work. Never, never, never. At $36 silver, which I think we're going to be, we have 117% IRR and a 6-month payback. And at SEMAFO, when we built Mana in Burkina Faso, it was a similar project. We did all our numbers at $600 gold, and then we were at $1,200, $1,400, $1,500. We were making $200 million profit every year, and the CapEx had been $140. So when you hit it right, which is very, very difficult, the return is fantastic, because your CapEx is such, your return is there, and once you pay it back, then it's pure profit for 10, 12, 15 years. So we're going to pass this. Just on emission, in Morocco, the beauty of the grid is green. So all of our power is wind. So we're getting grid power that is green at 7 cents per kilowatt hour. So in Morocco, you have water infrastructure, you have, of course, transport infrastructure, airport, and power infrastructure. Once you've got that covered, after that, it's execution. Very important now, and especially for us now who have gone to the billion-dollar market cap. I was in Boston last week and New York meeting all these multi-billion-dollar funds, and we spend everything on governance. How many women, directors, who is following you, how is your ESG reporting, your CSR reporting. So we cover all of that. We did it at SEMAFO. SEMAFO, we were runner-up on ESG for a Nobel Prize. We presented in Sweden, and so we have the same team. I brought the same team over, and we're following the same pattern. But the value of all this, and why you're a shareholder in this fund, and why Willem is keeping with us, it's only about exploration. And exploration of that belt, but exploration of Zgounder, and exploration of Boumadine. Why Zgounder is so important? Because look, 106 million ounces is what's in color here. That's the block model. This is 1.4 kilometer long. It's mineralized all the way to the fault here, and all the way to the granite. It's a hydrothermal fluids, and it's a sponge. It's 1.4 kilometer long, it's 20 meter thick, 700 meter deep. It's always there. We always mine ore, always. And they've been mining this for 2,000 years. So when we arrived, there was 36 kilometers of galleries that had been built over time. And now see these blue lines are all our drill program. We're putting 26,000 meters of drilling here right now. We have 6 drills turning. And at the end of this year, we will move the needle from 100 million ounces to about 150. And that will be that first structure. So keep in mind this, and let me show you this. So what you saw there is this. And this is our ground. And these are the 27 outcrop anomalies that we have with gold, copper, silver. So we're drilling 7,000 meters right now up here. We're preparing this for drilling this fall. We're drilling over here. And we think we're going to find 2, 3, 4, or we don't know how many, satellite pits that are going to come and increase our production from 8 million to 10 million to 12 million coming from satellite pits. So we're spending, and the beauty is because we're cash flow positive, we can spend almost whatever amount of money we want because we're generating cash next year, about 120 million. So this year we'll be spending 40, 50 million in exploration. But next year, if we have even to double up, we could do that. But our thinking here is really to come and identify satellite pit here, there, and there. Now, we're using technology. Everything is technology. Everybody is working off their computer, and we're using a lot of geophysics. We bought some technology out of Germany. We brought the whole team over to Morocco for months, and we've flown geophysics which is really, this is where the mine is. So all this blue rock is the intrusion. We're using it to the north. So we're using landside imaging, satellite imaging, in artificial intelligence. I mean, we are at the forefront of technology in our exploration program. And while we were doing Zgounder, I told the team, why don't you guys do Boumadine and see what it's going to look like with all the same tools? It's another asset that we have in the portfolio. So we did that, and bang. So they had been working here 400 years. 400 years, little mine, a plant, producing copper, gold, silver, lead, zinc, just a little plant. We did the geophysics. It's a huge intrusion, which is mineralized along the wall here, all across. So you see it goes up and down like that. Currently, we know we have 3.4 kilometers of a plywood, a slab, which is 2 to 30 meters thick, which is 3.4 kilometers long, which is 600 meters deep. And as we speak, right now, we're drilling 400 meters lower. This is a fence to look at the continuation of this. We have 8 banks covering us. 7 of them don't take Boumadine into their calculation, and they give us price targets of between $12 and $15. We're trading now at 10. And we have 1 bank that takes Boumadine into account for 200 million ounces of silver, and they gave us a price target of 17. And last week, National Bank was with us in Boston and New York. Coming back, they said Boumadine today, in their numbers, back of the envelope, is at least worth 500 million. But Boumadine, once we start doing the resource number, which will come out next year in January or February before BMO, it's going to add hundreds of millions of ounces of silver. So it's very interesting, and it's permitted. We have a mining permit because it was a mine for 400 years, so it's permitted. So we have that here. We can put this into production whenever we're ready. We're going to do pre-fees and fees, and we're going to look at it, but it'll be ready to go anytime we want. And our banker that just gave us 100 million has already committed to give us 300 million on this one. So it's very, very quick for us to take that to production. So, okay, some of you will like this, the longitudinal section. It's really well mineralized, deep. And we also have another permit right beside the government's mine here that's got 400 million ounces, which is very well, lots of veins. But for us, it's kind of a third project. So this is our story. Very straightforward. We own 52%. We put $5 million in the last deal of $92 million. So insider buying, William was saying, management involved, great jurisdiction, fantastic grade, cash flow positive, no more financing, and benefiting from the silver price. And I'll close on that. Our stock price will follow the silver price. If silver goes to 30, we'll probably go to 20. When silver goes to 40, we'll go to 30, 35. And when silver hits 50, we will be at 50. It's just mathematics. Is 8 million ounces, $10 cash cost, $50 selling price, $40 an ounce profit, times 8 million is 320 million US. In Canadian, it's 400. Give it a multiple of 10. You'll have a $4 billion market cap, so we'll have a $40 stock price. So, and that doesn't take into account Boumadine, which will grow to be $500 to $1 billion value. So again, very simple story, and maybe I can show you a picture to close. This is what we scrape off the wall. This is 6 kilos of silver. When we open the walls, we have to send people with bars because they take the silver off the wall, and because we have these like stalactic silver veins that are there within the sponge, which we take off. So before we arrive, of course, all that never made it to the plant. Everybody went home with that stuff. But now we have cameras, we have systems, and we control everything. And it doesn't go home anymore, except if it comes to me. And that's why we have it here. So, which is not true. And don't worry, Willem. We have a good control system. So this is the story. We're clean, we're funded, we're good to go, and we're building. It'll be ready next year, and you'll have every month exploration results coming out. And so far, both Zgounder and Boumadine have fantastic grade, fantastic exploration results. Thank you.
Wonderful presentation, Benoit. Thank you so much. Very engaging. I loved it. We do have a few minutes or a couple minutes for questions. Do we have any questions from the audience? I see a hand back there. Just wait for the microphone real quick so that we can all hear you.
Thank you very much. The neighboring countries of Morocco, right, Tunisia, Algeria, are suffering a little bit of civil instability, you could say. What about Morocco?
Okay, how long do we have? Okay, what's happening in the world right now is there's a war in Ukraine. The same war is in Africa. Russia took over Mali. Russia took over Burkina. Russia took over Chad. Took over Algeria. Took over Libya. Is looking at Tunisia. There's not much there, so they don't care. And they are starting to go into Ivory Coast. France is bailing out of everywhere. So Morocco had to do a deal with United States, Israel, and Spain. And they're kind of, you know, what's holding Russia from taking over the rest of Africa. They can't touch Egypt because Egypt is with United States, so that's easy. But the rest of the world, and I swear that's what we say, jurisdiction, the rest of the world is going to shit. I mean, it's really going, I mean, it's tough. So Algeria is trying to put pressure on Morocco, but it's not Algeria, it's Russia. And we see it. And the same in Burkina, it's the same in Niger, it's the same in Mali. And you know, look at Sudan. What do you know, in 3 months, we're going to hear that the second in command in Sudan that attacked the general was funded by someone. I mean, the guy is not by himself with all these bombs. So he's funded by somebody, and they've created instability in Ethiopia, and Eritrea forever, Ethiopia, now Sudan, and it's a war. It's a positioning, and so France has decided to protect Niger because of uranium. They are slowly getting out of Ivory Coast, they got out of Burkina, got out of Mali, they got out of Algeria. So it's very interesting what's going on, and that's why jurisdiction is so important. So yes, Morocco is safe, because Morocco is fully backed by United States. There's, you know, they're building an army camp. It's backed by Spain. It's backed by Israel. There's 2 flights a day from Tel Aviv. There's 2 flights a day from Canada. So Morocco will be and will continue to be, you know, the fort for that. But if you told me, come to Algeria, we're going to do a project, I'd say no. Libya, no. Chad, no. Of course, Burkina, we're out of it, and it's extremely difficult. So what's happening right now is what you're seeing in Ukraine, you're seeing the same but it doesn't get as much publicity. It's the same thing of positioning and who's going to control the resources and who will control the world. So, but Morocco's good, to answer your question.
Fantastic. Now we're out of time.
Yeah.
Benoit, thank you so much for joining us. It was fantastic. And stick around, because I also have a few questions for you as well. Thank you so much.